Hello everyone and welcome to the Side Hustle Iceberg. In this video, I'm going to be exploring these 4 layers of money making that have been recommended to many young people over the years. Now, I made this iceberg on my own. I might be missing some hustles, but these are basically the top ones that I've found while searching the internet and stuff like that. Now, before we begin, I'd like to remind you that an iceberg video doesn't go in depth into any specific topic. Instead, an iceberg video is just meant to give you a reference about these large topics and give you a brief summary on the pros and cons of them. And now we can get into the first layer of this iceberg, scams. Alright, so these methods of income are pretty much all just scams and things that really won't make you money. And whoever's selling you the concept of these being money making is either just trying to get views on social media to make money off of ad revenue, or is trying to sell you a course, which we do cover later. Let's talk about the first scam, which is dropshipping. Dropshipping is simple. You make an Amazon listing or a Shopify website with a product that you think will sell well. And when you get a sale, you redirect the product from Alibaba, sometimes it can be Amazon itself, to the customer's address, and you pay them money for the product, and you get it shipped to the customer. So now you have money, but the problem is this is very stupid because it goes against a lot of principles that Jeff Bezos himself laid out. Customers want cheap products and they want them fast. Dropshipping goes against both of those principles, and honestly, there's way too many people in this hustle to let you make money. You need to research a lot, you need to get on things quick, and you may have like 2 or 3 weeks of a good product sale until some other idiot jumps on it and then there's like 1,000 of them. And most of the time with dropshipping, you end up falling into the rat race of review fraud and trying to buy good reviews from customers. It really isn't worth it. You're basically going to lose a lot of money doing this, and you're probably not going to be able to convince many people to give you a good review. And you may go through all of that just for Amazon to make their own generic version of whatever product you're selling and put in the Amazon's Choice tag on it, and essentially making their own money off of it. Our next topic is courses, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Now, courses are kind of an interesting thing because they're half a scam and half not, but also half a scam that you get scammed in and then you scam others in. Let me explain. Essentially, you're going online and you're looking at someone who seems smart, successful, and they say, hey, you can be just like me if you take this course that I made, but only for today. I'm not going to be selling it tomorrow. Of course, they're always selling it tomorrow. Now, people like Tai Lopez or Andrew Tate create these courses that are meant to inspire you and be like, hey, you can get fast cars, women, and money. At the end of the day, it's just a scam. I mean, Hustlers University or whatever it is just going to give you generic information that you've already heard of. And Tai Lopez's courses sometimes costed up to $7,000. So what ends up happening is a lot of people learn this. And what they end up doing is they think, hey, you know what? I can make a course too, and I can make a lot of money selling it. The problem is that what ends up happening is you get into an oversaturated, and I mean a very oversaturated market, and you don't really have the resources to compete with the other people in this market, like Tai Lopez, like Andrew Tate. You don't have the resources to market it as well as these guys do because they started off scamming a lot earlier than you did. These people destroy their image, nobody respects them, and if you're trying to sell a course, you're also going to destroy your image. So probably just stay away from this whole course thing. It's not good for you and it's not good for the people who you're going to be scamming potentially. Next, we have something that a lot of us have heard of and probably also gotten into, which is crypto trading. What ends up happening with crypto trading is that you're in a very volatile and stupid market. Let's say you bought a bunch of SafeMoon and you're like, you know what, I'm going to hold it for a month or two and I'm going to make a lot of money. And you know what, if you bought it the day it came out, you definitely probably made a lot of money. But if you held it for any longer than a couple of months, you would be rug pulled. They just declared their 5th bankruptcy. And then there's also stupid coins like Shiba or Inu coin or whatever, these Musk coins. The point is it's all volatile and stupid. Unless you got in early on, let's say Bitcoin, Ethereum, even Dogecoin in some places, you really are getting rug pulled. So just don't crypto trade. Probably stay away from crypto in general, because it's a very underregulated, oversaturated market. And remember, the word oversaturated comes up many times in this video. So if you can count them and comment below, I will love you forever. Next is copywriting. Now, this is actual work that people do, but it is kind of scammy. So let me explain. Alright, so copywriting is essentially a lot like courses where you're trying to force people into buying something. Now, what ends up happening is if you're a copywriter, you're mostly working freelance for YouTubers or websites or companies that really want somebody to create a coherent, good piece of writing for them. So what ends up happening is you're trying to sell a product for a company or a YouTuber or whoever. You're not really making money off the product. You're making a salary or just like a fee for writing for someone else. Now, I'm going to be honest. You probably don't have the skills to do this. And if you do, please go write a book or be more productive. Write YouTube essays, write school essays, go back to college. Copywriting is a very oversaturated market. You're not going to be good at it, and it's going to take years before you actually get really good at writing something convincing. It's sales. Come on. You can make a lot more money being a car salesman. Look it up. They make a lot of money if they're good. Anyway, next is a website which I can't mention because of the YouTube guidelines. It's a website for fans only, and it's a website where there's a lot of people doing a lot of bleep kind of things. So let's begin. This website looks like the easy way out for a lot of young women and men who are trying to make a lot of money off of their stuff. So what ends up happening is there is way too many people on there. There's a lot of competition and not a lot of money to go around anymore, at least. Maybe in 2020, 2021, whenever it was really popular. But you see, the number one problem that you're going to run into is that you can't market yourself. You're not going to be able to convince people to come and look at your stuff and pay you money for stuff. Again, get into an oversaturated market with very little skills. And I've seen this happen to a lot of young women. And what ends up happening is they kind of ruin their image. Trying to find work after doing stuff like this becomes very difficult. I've seen a lot of people's lives almost completely ruined. They have to go and make major changes, like change their name maybe and, move to another country. It's really not a good thing to do. Seriously, this is one of those things you don't want to get into. All right, next we're getting into drop shipping for idiots, which is making your own online web store for stuff. You could be selling anything. It could be mittens, it could be mugs, it could be cars online. I don't know. This is essentially making your own Shopify website, right? Like a online e-commerce website. It's way stupider than drop shipping because you'll be left with the bag and no one will want to buy your useless junk. Let me explain. You will spend a lot of money trying to build a website. It's not that much money. It's probably a couple $100, but you're going to spend a lot of money buying inventory, and then you're going to spend a way bigger amount of money trying to market this thing. The right way to do this is to have an online following who you can sell to. But the problem is a lot of people don't want your stuff. Even if you have a dedicated, let's say, cat page, why are they going to buy a $20 poster from you when they can buy it from Amazon for $6 or less? It'll take you years to learn what people want and how to sell it to them. There's way too much upfront cost, and you're probably going to go broke before you make a single sale. So seriously, stay away from online e-commerce type of things. Next, we have something that I've seen a lot of people get into, and that's faceless AI YouTube channels. Now, this is great and all. It makes a lot of money, but it is trash. It is ultimately mega trash on YouTube, and even YouTube has acknowledged it. They're starting to ban AI voices and AI-generated videos. Why? Because it's all spam. It's a scam to the viewer. It's a scam to YouTube. It's a scam to the uploader at this point because YouTube is going to ban you. You don't have any skills because you're getting your script written by ChatGPT. Either you're just doing text on the screen with images behind it that are generated with AI, or you're getting some weird amalgamation of footage from AI. What ends up happening is it's not coherent, it's kind of garbage, and you're wasting everyone's time. Oh, and the voices, we can tell they're fake. Seriously, I mean, everybody knows a fake voice from a real one, at least at this stage. We're not in the ex machina part yet. All right, next is something that I really despise personally, and that is life coaches. You see, the problem with life coaches and people who try to become life coaches is you genuinely don't know how to lead a successful life. Most of them. What ends up happening is they aren't actually successful. They're mostly just scammers trying to make a quick buck by telling people how to do certain things. Like, for example, there is a lot of life coaches who think that they know a lot about marketing, but when you get into a meeting with them, their knowledge is more bare bones than a chicken on Tuesday. I don't know what that is. I hope I put a picture up for that, but anyway, basically, you don't have the life experience if you're anywhere under 40, and you probably don't have the success to do this if you don't have, a nice house, a nice car, a nice business. So don't sell this to people. And also, don't buy this from other people, unless they're genuinely successful. Life coaching is a big scam. If it's for free, go ahead. If it's for money, stop ruining people's lives, VJ. Next is something that I can kind of respect, but you should never do and nobody should ever do because it's stupid. But I respect it for its honesty, which is straight up scamming people. Now, you might think, hey, that's not a side hustle. Nobody does that. Trust me, this is a massive side hustle for a lot of people. Let's get into it. There are a lot of people standing on the street every single day looking for a buck. This is mostly in big cities like New York or Los Angeles or wherever. This also includes stealing. I'm going to add all that in, like San Francisco, people who smash the windows and grab. These things are very, very illegal. No one should ever do these. But at least they're honest with who they are. They'll go to jail eventually, but the point ends up becoming, you don't want to do this, right? Nobody ever wants to do this. Now, there's another version of this called online scamming, where you basically try to social engineer people into them giving you their money. Now, the problem with this is, if you're going to try to do this at all, first of all, don't. Second of all, you don't have the skills to pull this off. You're probably going to get caught. You're probably going to go to jail. You're probably going to regret it for the rest of your life. You're going to ruin your image times 10 worse than anything else on this list. And what's going to end up happening is you're just dumb. Okay, next we go to the Earn Real Money Now section. But first, please subscribe if you're enjoying this video. Thank you. So this is stuff that can actually earn you money very quickly. And usually in the short term, you can make a little bit of cash on the side. So let's begin with the most obvious one, which is food delivery apps, or any delivery apps in general. You could do Amazon delivery. You could do the Walmart one. I think there's one like that. You could do DoorDash or Uber Eats. Essentially what it is it's easy to get set up. All you need is a license and a car. Now, the car part is a little expensive, but maybe you could borrow one. But the good thing about this one is that it's available in most large communities, but you need to have a bit of patience to understand when you should go out there and start delivering and stuff like that. Now, with something like Amazon, they usually give you a set time to do this. I don't know if they're still running their program, but it used to be decent money from what I remember. It can be slow to start this thing, but you can eventually learn what times are good. Like, for example, with food delivery, it's the weekend times that are really good. With, Amazon, I think any time is good, but you need a car that can fit a lot of stuff in, so you probably don't want a small car. Now, when it comes to a lot of these apps, they're not going to make you a lot of money. The problem is the market is usually filled with a lot of people trying to do the same thing, and you need to be doing this for a little while in order for the app to give you the better timings and stuff like that. So it's slow, but it's good money up front. And this leads me to my next section, which is just gig work in general. Now, gig work, again, is delivery stuff. It could also be Upwork or Fiverr. It could be a lot of other things. Like, you can find postings in your local newspaper, or I don't even know, like, just, in your local area, you can find postings for somebody needing somebody to be a busboy for a weekend, or somebody to come and clean for the weekend. These things are very one-off, but they're very good for quick income. Now, there is also a lot of hard work that goes into these things. Like, for example, if you're trying to be somebody editing videos on Upwork or Fiverr, you need to know how to edit. Same with the delivery stuff. You need to know how to drive. You need to have a car. And, in general, with the cleaning side, you can also learn how to clean pretty easily, but being good at it takes a while. So it's not bad, but it's low income because it's volatile. You don't always have a job available. So as a side hustle, it's decent, but it won't really get you a lot of money. But it is money you can make quickly. Now, next is something that goes all the way back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, whenever, maybe even ancient Rome. It's called lawn mowing. Now, this is, it sounds strange, I know, but all you need is your dad's lawnmower to go around and mow the lawn for your neighbors. Now, if you have an electric lawnmower, it's even better. Now, I know you're thinking, why am I even on here listening to this? Well, it's because this is easy money right now. And this can also work in the winter time if you live in a snowy area. You just need a shovel, really. You can go out there and make like 10, 20 bucks. You mostly do it for your neighbors or community people around you. But also, don't be bad about this. I had someone come up and tell my mom had 20 bucks. They said $10 for the lawn mowing. My mom was like, okay, just come by and do it for free next time because she's giving you 20 now. Well, that guy never showed up again. So don't do that. Be good to your clients. Next is something that is very difficult but can make you a lot of money in the long term, which is door-to-door sales. Now, the good side is you can sell anything from a car to toothpaste to chocolate to basically garbage, but that's the really only upside. The downside is you're basically cold calling people to their face, and people find that very, 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 very annoying. So if you're doing this, you got to understand, you're going to face a lot of mean customers who are going to say, get off my lawn or get out of my property. If you're in Texas, be careful. And if you don't have anything good to sell that most people don't need, you're probably going to get yelled at. But the good thing is, if you do have something that people do want, like for example, their windows cleaned or Girl Scout cookies or whatever it is, you're probably going to make a good amount of money with a couple of months of practice. So it's a lot of hard work, but you could make a lot of money in the long term. Next is something that is very stable, and it can make you also a decent amount of money, not a crazy amount, but eventually you can make a crazy amount. And it's called freelancing. Now, freelancing is massive. You have a lot of skills available to you, like art, graphic design, editing, whatever it may be, voiceover. So the point of freelancing is you need to focus on one big skill set and have the ability to acquire clients. Now, the good thing with freelancing is there's more work, but you need to be able to maintain the workflow. So if you have like 10 clients who pay you $500 a month, sure, that's $5,000 a month, but you need to be able to do 10 people worth of work. So essentially, you're going to have to work really hard and be consistent, but it could make you a lot of money and pretty quick too. Like for example, if you know how to draw or you're good at editing, I'm sure there's people out there who want that. You're either going to have to like reach out to them or use a big service like Fiverr or Upwork to find customers. Next is something that is crazy, but it also does work, and it's furniture flipping. This is an easy thing to do. You can find a lot of pieces of furniture all over Facebook Marketplace, all over eBay, stuff like that. They're for free, and people usually just want to throw them away. The annoying thing is, if you're not good with woodwork or upholstery or leather work, you're not really going to be able to sell it. You're just getting junk for nothing. See, the hard part of this thing is you need to have the skills to fix it. Now, if you can fix old furniture, you could sell it later for a couple $100, $300-$400 worth of profit. And if you do that 2-3 times a week, well, that's pretty much a job then. So it's not really a side hustle, but if you do actual woodwork in your regular life and you want to make some money on the side, I'm sure you could repair a couple tables or two over the weekend and make a couple $100. That's a great way to make money. But if you're not good at it, you're just collecting a lot of junk that you're going to have to give away to some other moron. Next is garage sale flipping. Now, it's kind of similar to furniture flipping, but this is a thing I saw from Gary Vee a few years ago. This is where you make money over the weekends in summertime, where you go to a bunch of garage sales all over the city and you look for good items that you could flip online. So, for example, if you find like a Yoda mug from 1970, you could probably flip that for a few $100s, whereas the person doing the garage sale is probably some old lady who doesn't care, so she's probably going to sell it to you for $5. The difficulty here is, first of all, you need transport, so you can take a bus or something like that, but you also need to be able to find valuable items. A lot of places don't have that. You're going to be looking for a lot of things like old merch from movies, stuff like that, old clocks, old Monopoly sets, stuff like that. Sometimes you can find furniture type of things. Sometimes you can find whatever. It really is a treasure hunt. But Gary Vee recommended you look for mugs.
I like the mug life. Mug life.
Alright, so I'm recording this a few hours after recording the other parts, and I just remembered there's actually one more part to this section, which can earn you money right now, but it's kind of gross and disgusting, but it's worth it if you're willing to do it, and that is dumpster diving. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's very simple. It's the same as garage sales, but much nastier and free. The main important part is it's free. So the difference here is you can find amazing stuff in dumpsters of a lot of stores, a lot of like malls, areas that have a lot of like retail going on in them. What you can check out is Dumpster Diving King. I believe that's his name on Instagram. He has a lot of crazy, awesome videos about how he finds insane items in dumpsters. Sometimes he finds apparel like bags, shirts, stuff like that. And it's usually not dirty. It's usually wrapped in a massive garbage bag and thrown in. These things are thrown away by stores because they want to reduce inventory. Big fashion brands are notoriously known for this. Keep demand high by keeping production low by destroying old items. Usually they'll cut it up and throw it out. Sometimes they won't. Dumpster diving, it's a way to make money. It's very disgusting, but if you're very desperate, you can probably make a good amount of money flipping this on Facebook Marketplace, which is where most of these things are available. Okay, now we're on to the next part, which is really good money, but it takes a long time. So let me give you a brief explanation on this. A side hustle can be honestly anything that just brings you income on the side of your actual job. A lot of people at home think, hey, I can just do a side hustle and not have to worry about it. But these are the ones that actually make you money, but you do have to put in the effort to make sure they make you money. So the first one is affiliate marketing. Now I know what you're thinking. This is a scam. It's stupid. It probably wouldn't work. But hear me out. You see, for people who have a good amount of followers or audiences on TikTok, Instagram, whatever you want, YouTube, you can essentially sell your audience stuff that you see online. With affiliate marketing, you don't make as much, but so for you to make a profit, you need to be able to sell expensive items. So let's say you're a travel vlogger or something like that, and you want an extra little bit of income. What you can do is you can recommend cameras and equipment to people through an affiliate program on Amazon or whatever, and you can end up making a lot of money. So what would happen is, let's say you're selling a $600 camera. Well, you've made like $60. Now, don't quote me on this. I don't know the exact percentage they give you, but it's decent enough where I've seen some people make a lot of money from it. But also, you need to be able to have the audience and be good at finding affiliate products that people would actually want. So keep that in mind. Now, our second one here is YouTube. And YouTube is a really good way to make money for people who are willing to put in a year or two of their free time to learn and produce good content on YouTube. And it's not just YouTube, it's really any social media out there that pays you for your content. So essentially, you all know this, YouTube is a website where you need a lot of people, a community or a lot of subscribers, whatever you want to call it, who can subscribe to you and watch your videos. But the good thing about YouTube is you don't have to do it full time. Like, for example, there are many channels on YouTube that upload once a month or maybe even once every 3 months. What happens is, however, the quality of the video needs to be good and the idea needs to be decent. You're going to need to find a niche that makes a lot of money. It could be real estate, finance, education, whatever you want, but it needs to make a decent amount of money, and then you need to be able to produce the content at a decent enough level to where people are going to want to watch your content, your video. So this one will take a while. It'll take you years to become good at it, but if you have any background in editing or filming, you're probably going to have a decent shot at it. Now, this is an interesting one, making stuff. And what do I mean by stuff? Well, think of it this way. Stuff is just things that people would find interesting. So, for example, if you're able to make great leather couches, people are going to buy your leather couches. Fine, that's a little too hard. What if you're able to knit a very nice sweater? Well, you can make that and sell it to people. I used to live nearby this old man who would make these beautiful bird houses and bird feeders. His garage would be filled with them and people would just walk up and buy from him. You see, if you have a hobby that you really enjoy and it produces a valuable product, you could easily sell it to a lot of people for a lot of money. So, for example, we can take the knitting example. You could even go into 3D printing. You could design cool products like a figurine or something like that people would want to get. Maybe a little statuette, something like that. You know, another one that's really good these days is keycaps for your keyboard. These things sell very well. Like this recent duck keycap, it was awesome. This rubber ducky type keycap. People are very into keyboards these days and they're always looking for ways to accessorize and make it cool. So if you can 3D print this, or let's say you can, I don't know if you'd be able to make it somehow, but if you could make this, you would make a decent amount of money. And the best way to sell these items would be on Etsy. You can make hundreds or even thousands of dollars per month if you're just patient, if you're focused on your craft and building good products. People will definitely want to come in and buy from you. It's a very legitimate way to make a little bit of money on the side. Next, we have growing food. I know this one sounds weird, but let me explain. You see, you can grow tomatoes in your backyard. Yeah, I'm just kidding. That's just an allegory for herblore in real life, if you know what I mean. I'm putting up certain images to help you understand, but hey, if this is legal where you live, you could probably use this to make some money. It takes some time to understand how to grow these plants and how to ensure they're valuable and actually usable. But once you understand how to grow these, obviously people have made hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per month doing this. It's not something you do without proper permission, so get the permission, but otherwise you could use this and sell it legally on certain platforms, whether it be a farmer's market or whatever, and sell it legally through legal means. Honestly, this entry is pretty broken because it is so valuable in the world today that if you have this ability, you're probably going to make a lot of money in your life. And that is programming. So I know programming has evolved quite a lot over the last few years, going from writing the code directly to using templates to now generating code with AI. However, if you're able to properly build an app or a website and you know how to code very well, you can just make apps and websites for people or even for yourself and build an audience that would want to use your website or app. Now, it's not always easy to get a lot of people onto your platform. However, what you can do is sell your services to people. You can find a lot of people who are looking for coders all the time to build a website, build an app, and you can use your skills to help them build, for example, a little video game character that moves funny. You can even create templates for Unreal Engine. You can even create website functionality. There's tons of things you could do. Like, for example, I had a friend who used to make video filters for a up-and-coming social media app, and that would make him around $1,000 per completed contract. And it wouldn't even take him a long time. He'd probably be working on it for a week of part-time work while going to school. So you can easily make a lot of money if you know how to program, or if you're willing to learn how to program. Next is a very realistic way to look at making a side side income, but through a legitimate means, and this is part-time college or part-time upper education. You see, there are a lot of skills and certifications that you can learn from your local college or online universities. This is not the same as buying a course from Andrew Tate or someone like that. This would be a legitimate establishment that is able to give you a legitimate certification for programming, for plumbing, for whatever you want. What this will give you is a extra skill that can make you legitimately useful in the world today. Like for example, if you don't know how to program, you can take a part-time class at a college that'll teach you over a few months to a couple of years. But at the end of it, you would have a certification that shows you understand programming, and you could go into that career path. Now, similarly, you could learn engineering or whatever you want on the side through a part-time education. And now finally, this is the most anticipated part of the entire video. If you've made it here, you're pretty awesome. This is good, real income. Now, what is this? Well, there is a side hustle that very few people know about. And this is a side hustle that has existed for thousands of years. Now, there are places that serve food, that sell products, that may provide services. They need people to come in and work for a set amount of time for a set amount of income. Usually this income can be paid to you for an amount of sales, for an amount of hours worked, and this is called a salary. And a salary comes from a job. That's right, everyone. My number one side hustle is having a job. Get a job. If you're watching this video and you're looking for a side hustle and you don't have an actual job, get a job, dork. Get a job. At this point, this is the best way for you to make money. You just go in, work maybe part-time even. Let's say you're a lazy schmuck, work part-time at a restaurant, work part-time at Walmart, work anywhere. What's going to end up happening is you're going to get a decent amount of money on the side, and you're going to be able to spend that on stuff that you like. Stuff like, hey, you could take that part-time college course now. Or hey, you could buy that burger that you've been wanting for a long time. There's a lot of things you can do if you have a job. So the ultimate side hustle is actually having a job. Now, if you do have a job, that probably makes sense to you. But if you don't have a job, that probably doesn't make sense to you. And if it doesn't make sense, go find a job. You'll thank me later. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. I love you.